We should be friends. Come hunting with us.
And they're gonna drag him down under the water and put him in danger.
No way, I'm not allowed. I must be asking the wrong brother. Let's do it.
Okay, that was the fastest "Are you chicken" manipulation ever. Hi, movie lovers. Welcome to Old Lady Reacts. I'm the old lady, otherwise known as Michelle. I'm a huge movie buff, and this is my channel where I react to mostly action and superhero movies that I've never seen before, but also other stuff that looks interesting or new. I started the channel so I could understand the inside jokes and references in WandaVision, and here we are over a year later, still reacting. So I want to give this movie a chance, but I'm not really excited about it. If you love the Avatar movies, this may not be the reaction video for you. I did not like the first one at all. I thought the story didn't hold up. I thought it was super cliche, repetitive. And frankly, for me, if the storytelling isn't great, I don't care how good the visuals are. It doesn't make up for bad storytelling. Everything for me comes down to the quality of the storytelling. And like, other than Terminator, James Cameron isn't really one of the filmmakers I go to for great stories. But people seem to like these movies so much. You know, it was so all over Twitter when it first came out in the theaters, and everything was like, oh, it's so great, it's so great. And they just rave about it. So I'm going to use this reaction to try and figure out what I'm missing here. I'm going to try to not have too many preconceived notions about it, and I'll try to have a good attitude about it and give it a chance. Like, I don't want to go into any reaction knowing that I'm going to hate the movie. Like, I really hope that I'm going to be pleasantly surprised in this case. But be prepared. If it sucks ass, I'm going to spend the entire time complaining and ripping it apart. So just be aware, because that's how I am. Sarcasm. Always an option. So before we get started, please subscribe so you can see all of my reactions, and then check out my Patreon. And if you're interested in participating in polls, having early access to videos, and watching full-length reactions, hop over there and become a patron to support the channel. All right, let's dive into Avatar: Way of Water. Got myself a nice big Arnie Palmer to keep me awake and hopefully have some caffeine in the tea and keep me going through this 3 hours and 15 minutes. Oh dear, I guess we'll see. I'm complaining already.
He could crack the code.
Papyrus font. They're stuck with the papyrus font. Okay.
Orphaned by the war, he was raised by the lab guys.
Spider, take your spare!
I'm just going to the village!
Who is that kid? Where did he come from?
Them.
I'm gonna giggle every time I see the papyrus font. Yikes.
Spider's gone.
Happiness is simple,
They have cameras?
decelerating.
They have solar panels on them? That's cool. I mean, I suppose the space station and stuff has solar panels on it, but that looks pretty cool. They should have been like those what are those couple tribes that are still separated from the outside world, and like the second you get close to them, they just shoot you. They just like shoot arrows at you and kill you. They don't even no questions asked. Just don't come here. Leave us alone. Those look like the things in the guys in the Edge of Tomorrow suits, except bigger. So what did they want on this planet again? I can't remember. Was it some kind of energy source thing? I don't know. Why did they cut his hair but leave that braid in the back? I don't know I don't understand what's going on, but.
Well, whatever happened. If you're any clone of mine, you'll be looking for some payback.
Wait, he's a clone of him? I'm so confused. Okay, I thought that was that guy. It's a different guy. Okay, I'm confused about who's who.
Size, their strength, their speed. And with our training, that's a pretty potent mix.
I feel like there's no, I'm waiting for some kind of nuance of like, there's like the tough military guys and the noble savages kind of people, and that, is there anything like, I don't, oh God. I'm only 20 minutes in, I'm not doing well.
Kitty, can you go help your grandmother with the wounded, please?
My brother is wounded.
Baby girl, please. Took, go with her, go.
Sorry,
So gender politics are the same on Navi, okay. Maybe don't point the rifle at the person next to you when you're cleaning it. Even if you're just putting it down, don't point it towards them. Even I know that. Look at the guys like pointing right at her. Don't do that.
I'm thinking their two avatars were out in the woods, all alone.
Gross!
Guys, I mean, sometimes it's not so great to know who your father was.
Everything's just so very cliche. Like, that was a very cliche teenager. Who's your dad? Like that discussion that came out of nowhere and not developed correctly, and the two young warrior guys trying to be cool and be involved in fighting, and it all feels very cliche.
Good to meet you, Colonel. For good things.
That feels very like Edge of Tomorrow outfits that they had on too. The little spider thing's cool though.
That just came online. These swarm assemblers, they can put up a building in 6 days.
Swarm assemblers.
Earth is dying. Our task here is to tame this frontier.
Okay, so they're looking for another Earth to live on. I'm sure that's going to go over really well.
And how might we test that hypothesis, General?
The hard way.
Outstanding.
Also cliche, it's just like the soulless, uncaring military. We're going to take this land and we don't care who we kill, or, it's ours, too bad. And it's just like, ugh, come on. Meanwhile, they're all frolicking in nature, and like the humans are making ugly gray concrete things, metal and all of that, and they're happily frolicking in nature. It's just like, it's so derivative. We haven't even been a half hour in. Oh, it's going to be a long day.
Get the hell out of there. Ooh, you copy?
Yes, sir. Moving out.
Say, I told you.
She literally said, "Oh, I told you." Like, that's so like, boys are off in adventures, and the girl's sitting there saying, "No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's dangerous. You're going to get in trouble." Like, I mean, even Disney has figured out that it's to have like girls who are adventurous. Like, they did that decades ago.
Show me your fingers.
I don't remember that from the first one. They had more fingers.
What's your name, kid?
Spider? Socorro.
Miles?
I don't remember that about the baby. Was that in this first movie?
We're standing by for extract. Over.
Take us in.
Dragonfly coming love.
How did she get involved in this movie? She usually does much more sophisticated stuff.
No, you stay with Ikran.
But Dad, I'm a warrior like you. I'm supposed to fight.
I'm not gonna say it again.
It seems like a weird thing to me, like that he's so military, yet he hasn't expressed to the young guys that you follow orders.
That you, Mrs. Sully? I recognize your calling card.
I don't feel like there's any kind of like creative mythology being built here. It all feels either stolen from Native American tribes or African tribes, but not in the way that Black Panther kind of did that. I don't know.
Who's fighting us? Give us a minute.
I don't know!
Swarm a thought, and we will see it.
Really? They can read minds? Okay. So yeah, torturing someone and screaming questions at them doesn't work? Who knew?
Toruk Makto will disappear. The people will be safe.
Yes, so we get it. The man's all stoic and doing what he has to do, and the woman's really upset. Like, I'm really hoping they get some kind of subtlety in the things here, because the gender politics are really retro.
Father protects. It's what gives him meaning.
Really? Is this basically Moana? It feels like Moana now. Like they went from like Native American to Native Polynesian. Like,
we cannot let you bring your war here.
I'm done with war.
yeah, they're gonna track you down there. Like where they're gonna track you down wherever you go. Like
You just went from being our monkey mascot to official interpreter.
well, they wouldn't need it. Why would they need an interpreter if they were supposed to be going like undercover? The first thing you do is learn the language.
Feel his breath. Feel his strength.
So it's basically the same as the little dragon things. So like this, all this like sweeping music, like is it supposed to be glorious and all of that? Like it's basically just the first movie but underwater of like, I don't know.
We should be friends. Come hunting with us.
And they're gonna drag him down under the water and put him in danger.
No way, I'm not allowed. I must be asking the wrong brother. Let's do it.
Okay, that was the fastest "Are you chicken?" manipulation ever. Oh, poor thing. It wants help. Now they're best friends. I feel like a little bit like I did it when I was watching the third John Wick movie last week. Like it's just, that was just fighting after fight after fight after fight after fight. And this is just like pretty picture after pretty picture after pretty picture. Like there's not, like the plot's just not interesting enough.
This is the Cove of the Ancestors.
Of course it is. Like, you know, like really, you know, they got to see all the different places and make friends with the native people and all of that. It's like, and then you know that the bad guys are going to come and find them there. Like, and then everything, they're going to have to fight together to, oh my God, it's so stupid. It's just too much visual, not enough character, anything. Not enough plot and not enough interesting dialogue. So they basically have that same kind of tree thing that they had. I find like the artfully arranged leaves on the women to like cover up their boobs, but they're still sexy, but they're covered up. It's, you know, it's so weird.
I see that I am not needed here. You are Sahik. Remove these things. Out!
And the natural healer can do it, yeah.
Whatever?
Jake, if she sees us underwater again, it could kill her.
Genius dialogue right there. Yeah, thanks.
That's a big search box with lots of villages.
This is our guy. You give me ships and aircraft, I'll bring you back his scalp.
I mean, does that guy have any personality besides like hard military guy? Like,
I'll be nice once, then I won't.
Well, if you can't get out of it, get into it.
Okay, you convinced me with one statement. Okay. Hi there. Head on over to my Patreon to get access to exclusive content like Firefly, polls, and a growing collection of full-length reactions. And now, back to the movie. Oh, they have their own little tattoos. That's cute.
Still
gonna laugh about the papyrus. It's such a bad font. Yes, the bad people cheer and the good guy is upset.
The perfect little soldier. Well, I'm not you! Okay? I'm not you!
So I can't tell if it's like not the movement of the camera and like the movement of it's like not smooth. And I can't tell if that's, I mean, it might be my computer because it's screen recording right now and that tends to slow things, it can slow things down a little bit. But usually just for the recording part of it, and it usually only shows up when I edit it later and have like the source material. Usually when I'm watching, things are really kind of smooth and natural. Like, I don't know if it's the animation or if it's my internet being weird. Like, things are very... Like, even the scenes with humans, like that just there... It's very jumpy. Usually in a decently animated movie, I forget that I'm watching animation. I forget that I'm watching CGI. Like, you know, Turning Red was like, you forget that you're watching a cartoon because it's such a great story and the animation was so beautiful and had such an interesting style. Like, those are kind of interesting little crab things that are, you know, they had the little spiders before that, things that look like spiders, and now they're the little crabs down in the water. That was a very strange music cue that they had when it was like, ooh, heroic music, and then back down, like, like, oh, it was just so, like, obvious, you know?
Yeah, I remember you. Let's go.
Let's go! Move!
It's so weird that they like growl like animals. I don't understand the logic to that. It's so weird. Like, it's just so weird that they try to make them so kind of noble and beautiful and yet make them so animalistic in their responses. It's the way they react to things. It's just weird. It's odd choices to me. I don't understand it. Oh, that was clever. Here, I'm just gonna like deflect it off. Like, how did she know that she could do that? I don't know that we ever established that she learned that she could do that. Like, she went from having the seizure underwater to doing that. Oh, now he can drive away with them. Let's go.
Clever, don't you?
What does it say? You still got the cord. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. I thought he still had the... Yeah, he does. He still has the cord in his mouth. Oh, you're just gonna cut the boat right in half. That works. No.
Pump's not working.
Kind of gory, but okay.
We can still get this done.
Hell yeah.
I can't believe I'm tying up again.
That would be annoying, yes. He put it down, but I don't know that they established that he was out of bullets. Like, why did he put it down?
Come on.
All four of them ain't gonna be able to ride that little guy.
Oh, my son.
No. Their skin is blue. You think maybe their blood would be a different color or something, too. I don't know.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Listen, they have our daughters. They have our...
There's a lot of this, just like the women just like screaming and crying over things, you know? Like very weepy women in this movie. And all the men are like macho strong. It's very binary thinking, like the male and female, very typical. The cold, violent military versus the noble, beautiful, gentle, savage, and the right versus wrong. And there's very little subtlety in all of this.
Get down!
Or did he know he wasn't going to hurt those two? He could easily have just blown up his kids. And how many times am I going to have to watch them shoot at them with a machine gun and miss every shot? Yet with the arrow, they get them every single time. It's like, really? Oh, there we go. Oh, look how cute you are. Show them how cute you are.
Coming for you. When I do, I'll kill your whole family.
Well, the ship you're standing on is probably going to sink, so I don't know how you're going to get back to where you need to go and recoup, so...
It's coming! Back! Get back to the ship! Go!
They got to get back on the ship now? I mean, yeah, they could have walked away and just left him on that sinking ship. He probably would have died. James Cameron really likes to sink big ships, so...
Mom and Dad are down there in the ship. Get on. Bro, I'm good, go.
Okay, but maybe they could have left the other two there, and like he could have just gone with the little animal dude and like gone to get them. Because now the poor little animal dude's gonna, if they find them, they're gonna have to drag like even more people. Like, that's a lot to put on that little animal dude. He's had a hard day. Is he gonna save him? Really? He's gonna save him? No, dude, come on. No. Really? Okay.
It is all right. Stay close to me. Stay close to me.
So did James Cameron not get enough like underwater people drowning under ships churning over? You didn't get enough of that in Titanic? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Those are pretty though.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, is he gonna owe him now? He's gotta like make you leave these people alone.
Son.
Here's your son. Again, like I feel like there should have been some discussion there or dialogue. What now? Kind of thing. But no.
A father protects. It's what gives him meaning.
Kind of a toxic masculinity idea, really. Like. Thank God that's over. I miss the MCU. I miss the like kind of complicated plots and the gray areas and the complex characters and the snappy dialogue, and there was even some element of surprise back then. This is just boring and predictable and so simplistic. Like I said, I feel like James Cameron wants it to still be 1985 where you can make a film and as long as it looks cool, the story doesn't have to be that complicated, and there's some great movies that are like that. Don't get me wrong, Terminator is not a complicated story, but it looks cool. Like, and there's some new stuff there, and people are going to be so wowed by what they are seeing that they forget that there needs to be a story too. But I think we've all moved on from that. I have higher expectations of a recent movie now. I've seen enough action movies. Like almost 200 of them in the last year and a half. And this movie had nothing original or interesting to say about the current state of the world, human nature, relationships, or anything. Like, there's nothing unique here. And it's not exactly shocking to have a save the whales plotline. Like, who's going to argue with that? Even visually, it's all just manufactured to be pretty. It's all computer generated and enhanced, and it's nothing more beautiful than what's in Turning Red or Wakanda Forever or a myriad of other recent films. Like, beautiful motion capture animation is just not enough to carry a movie, especially a 3-hour movie that with a story that could have been told in 90 minutes. After seeing a movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once that is so uniquely creative and unexpected visually, or even a really simple movie like The Menu where the dialogue is so interesting, but there are some really kind of interesting, beautiful visual moments too. How can people get so excited about this stuff? Are they the kind of people who don't really go to see movies that much, that this is what's considered impressive to them? It's a cartoon. And it's not even an interesting one. Like, I'd rather watch Lego Batman. Like, at least that had some fun dialogue and some actual character development. Everybody in this movie ends up exactly where they started, and they're going to have to fight this guy again the same way that they did when the first movie and now in the second movie. Like, what's going to be interesting in the third and fourth and fifth movie? Everything is so binary in this movie. The characters are male or female and nothing else. Even these like fantasy characters, you're telling me there's no other options. There's no gay people. There's no trans people. There's no, like, everyone is just like stereotypically male or stereotypically female. Like, there's nothing more interesting than that. People are cold and militaristically violent, or they are gentle, noble savages. They are right or they're wrong. They're human or animal. They're black or white. I mean, the women are all so like weepy and mothering, and like the men are all like macho and adventurous. It's like, there's got to be something more interesting than that. Like, if I want that, I can go watch a movie from the 70s or the 60s or the 40s. Like, there's a century of movies with all of this stuff. Like, let's find something more interesting. Nobody has any character development because most of them don't have any actual character to begin with anyway. There's nothing to develop. They're not characters, they're archetypes. But I'm sick of bitching about it. This movie's done, I'm done with it. So let's have a rundown of some of the snarkiest reviews I could find, because I think that'll be really fun. There's also too much of a focus of the various teenage blueies, and their personalities are even more white bread than those of the kids played by Frankie and Annette and pals in all those beach party flicks. And then he goes on to say, given the movie's aquatic setting, its surface approach most brings to mind those Edie Brickell and New Bohemian lyrics, choke me in the shallow water before I get too deep. That's from Matt Brunson. The Avatar: The Way of Water bathed in mediocrity is his review. And then, A.S. Hamrad from thebaffler.com says, you can put coffee in a blue Coco Pelli coffee mug and stare at the flying toaster's screensaver on your Macintosh Classic and get the same rush. Oh, Don K on Den of Geek. We wish he made us care more. This is bad filmmaking at its finest, which resulted in one of the most terrible movies of the holiday season ever. An apology should be made for its runtime for a movie that goes nowhere and does the exact same thing that its predecessor does. This is Brian Kluger from HighDefDigest.com. And this best one from Mark Kermode for the Observer film critic. Astonishing, enthralling, exciting, immersive. None of those words could be sensibly be applied to the 3.25-hour wet Smurfahontas thon that is Avatar: The Way of Water. Oh, see, so they're better at being snarky than I am then. That's just creative snark I'm all about it. That's just great. So yeah, I'm over it. Let's just move on to the next movie, shall we? I don't know what the next movie is going to be, but I'm excited to move on to it. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe and all that. Hopefully you like this video better than I liked the movie. Check out my Patreon for exclusive content and click here for another one of my reactions next. You guys are awesome. I love sharing movies with you, even bad ones. Thanks for watching with me.